Hey everyone, welcome to another 15 cards episode. So I think if you've watched enough of these now, you know how this works. We'll go through, look at 15 cards from my booster binder, and then zoom in on them and look at the artwork. So this is from, as you can see, this is from Fifth Dawn. So from original Meridian block. And then soon I'll be getting onto some foily goodness. So I'm going to have 3 episodes of this series over the course of multiple weeks, where we're going to take a look at some from the vault products. So we'll get some nice foil stuff in upcoming episodes. So anyway, back to this particular pack. This is Fifth Dawn, previously open pack, and our rare is Vidalcan Shackles. So 3 to cast. It's an artifact. You may choose not to untap Vidalcan Shackles during your untap step. 2 tap, gain control of target creature with power less than or equal to the number of islands you control, as long as Vidalcan Shackles remains tapped. And I was trying for a moment to remember what was the first set after this that it was reprinted in. Was it, I'm not sure if it was reprinted again in Scars of Meridian. If anybody can remember, yeah, but just make a note of the set in the comments section, that would be most appreciated. So we have an affinity for artifacts card. This is Quimalox, 6 and 2 blue, 5/4, affinity for artifacts. This spell costs 1 less to play for each artifact you control, and it has flying. A grinding station here. 2 to cast, artifact, sacrifice an artifact. Target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library onto his or her graveyard, into his or her graveyard. Whenever an artifact comes into play, you may untap Grinding Station. A Vanquish, 2 and a white, instant, destroy target blocking creature. We've got Baton of Courage. 3 to cast, artifact. You may play Baton of Courage anytime you could play an instant. It's got Sunburst. This comes into play with a charge count on it for each colour of mana used to pay its cost. Remove a charge counter from Baton of Courage. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So we've seen affinity for artifacts. We've seen Sunburst. I wonder what else we'll see in this pack. Early Frost, or 1 and a blue. Instant tap up to 3 target lands. Thermal Navigator, 3 to cast, 2/2 artifact creature. Sacrifice an artifact. Thermal Navigator gains flying until end of turn. Screaming Fury, 2 and a red. Target creature gets +5/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Tel Jilhad Life Breather, 4 and a green, 3/2 green tap. Sacrifice forest. Regenerate target creature. Lose Hope, single black instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, and it's got Scry 2 on it. So look at the top 2 cards of your library, put any number of them on the bottom of your library and the rest on top in any order. Trinket Mage, 2 and a blue, 2/2 creature human wizard. When Trinket Mage comes into play, you may search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost 1 or less. Reveal that card and put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. Sawtooth Thresher, 6 to cast, 1/1 artifact creature with Sunburst. So this comes into play with a 1/1 counter on it for each colour of mana used to pay its cost. Remove 2 1/1 counters from Sawtooth Thresher. Sawtooth Thresher gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Stasis Cocoon, 1 and a white, enchant artifact. Enchanted artifacts activated abilities can't be played. If enchanted artifact is a creature, it can't attack or block. We've got Silvok Explorer, 1 and a green 1/1, creature human druid. Tap, add to your mana pool 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls could produce. And then we have Sun-Torched Mere. 3 to cast, it's a 0/0. It's got Sunburst, so it comes into play with a +1/+1 counter on it for each colour of mana used to pay its cost. So let's just review that quickly, because that was pretty interesting. The difference, we've got affinity for artifacts, we've got Sunburst, what else? There was Scry there. Yeah, so Sunburst, affinity for artifacts, but we're seeing a lot of Sunburst in this pack. So just going on the content of the pack, obviously, yeah, that would give us the impression that Sunburst was a big thing. Okay, so let's zoom in to our friend here. To come out a smidge. I think that's good. Okay, like I said, I just can't remember which set this was reprinted in, or which sets. So if anybody can remember or can look it up after the fact, then yeah, let me know in the comments section. Yes, rather sad looking individual. I know I say this a lot, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see this in foil. Oh yeah, this one, Criminox. I'm trying to remember, you know, obviously this was an artifact heavy block. I'm trying to remember, and I can't do it off the top of my head, how much that sort of balance changed over the course of the block. In terms of, if we went through the sets, like the balance to artifact stuff to non-artifact. And the reason why I bring this up is I was thinking with this something in my head makes me think that there was a cycle of these at uncommon, but I'm not sure. What I'll do as well, if I've done any set musings for these, I will include them in the description. It's almost like an elemental looking beast really, isn't it? Oh yeah, grinding station. That's artwork's popping nice, quite nicely on camera actually. I'm getting a sort of visual flashback of the artwork where there's the one that's grinding someone's head. I don't know if it's a reprint of this, a later reprint, or an earlier version or whatever, but I just also remember there's some sort of grinding something where someone's head's being ground with cogs. There's Vanquish. Very symmetrical there. Okay, Baton of Courage. Interesting black backdrop here with, assuming this is like multiple planets stroke suns maybe. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if there's one over here as well. Is that, oh yeah, I see now, is that? It's an interesting clawed hand where the claws are on the, is that on the back knuckles? Wow, that's pretty gnarly. I think that's supposed to be a hand grasping it. And what the fingertips are along here. And these are on the back of the hand. Wow. That's odd. That was produced today, you'd say that was like an AI anomaly where AI had done something wrong. Early frost. I do love how these look when you get them up close on camera. I'm going to enjoy looking at this on a large screen, I think. That reminds me of another artifact creature. Similar presentation. I suppose that's the problem when you, over time, when you've just seen so many magic cards, you think, yeah, that looks very similar to something else, and then you can't remember the card. I think there was a similar-ish artwork to this, or it's artwork it's reminding me of in Scars of Meridian block. Is this like a face here? And these are two pincers, maybe? Yeah, I can't quite get in close enough, I don't think. Yeah. That's pretty gnarly armoured goblin, I suppose. It's quite sort of old school artwork. Oh, we have a troll shaman. Pretty interesting, I don't know, this sort of like spiky organic look that you got with some of the green cards. I suppose, in some ways what with green and red, just because how they sort of deal with artifacts, I suppose, are almost like the antithesis. And it's always interesting in artifact heavy sets, the visual representation, I think, of both green cards and red cards. Okay. That's just reminded me, and I'm getting all sorts of like popular culture flashbacks here. Is it Beastman in He-Man? I'm trying to remember. One of Skeletor's minions. This makes me think of that. don't know what they've got in their hand here. Is this supposed to be a bone or something? Can't quite tell. There's a lot of in these. There's several objects that are difficult to discern. Yeah, that's a broken bone. Yeah. Trinket Mage. This was in one of those later event decks, wasn't it? Probably not. Yeah, probably around the time of Scars Are Mirrored In. Yeah, there was an event deck which was in blue, and was it played around with illusions as well, I think, but I'm pretty sure it had a Trinket Mage in it, from what I remember. If I yeah, I'll have to dig out, see if I've got the unboxing for that or any related videos, and I'll attach that to this video because that would be an interesting one to rewatch. That's pretty cool. Interesting to see this one foiled up. Can't remember if it's the same artwork in the deck that I'm thinking of. Another Sunburst card. Again, I wonder if all of these had these sort of sun-like objects in them. I was sort of expecting almost like one to represent each colour of mana, but it's a bit, what's the word, loosey-goosey in some ways. Like I can see, you know, okay, well this could be blue, one of these could be white, but you know, what about red and green? So yeah, I suppose it'd be interesting at some point to go through the Sunburst cards and just see how Sunburst was represented aesthetically in the artwork, and whether or not there was some sort of what I'm looking for, like aesthetic templating going on there, if that's indeed the correct term. So there's a number of, I suppose, when I think of stasis type artwork, where you've got this sort of stasis type thing that's locking down abilities or locking down something, then yeah, bubbles, chambers seem to be a popular feature of those. Maybe I should do an episode of Scryfall Shenanigans on stasis, actually, and stasis-like effects. I'm trying to think where something like Imprison in the Moon might fit into that, actually. Has this person just got one foot? Some rather sort of moss or mould encrusted apparatus there. Oh, here's the sun-touched mirror. So just in this pack, really, yeah, we are seeing. So just as a recap, there's our pattern of courage. Can you sort of see the spheres there? There's one here that's difficult to spot. I don't know if you can see that. Just there. What was the other one with? Oh yeah, this one here with Sunburst on it. So what do you reckon? This one's a bit better, isn't it? So black, green, blue, red, white, yeah. So in terms of the 5 colours of mana, definitely easier to discern. Yeah, might have to go on a side quest at some point and bring up all the sunburst stuff. Probably turn that into a Scryfall Shenanigans episode as well. I should write these down, so I need to write down what sunburst. What was the other one I said? Sunburst and stasis. So there we have it. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.